I've been feeling pretty good. There's been some social gatherings lately that I just feel like I've been connecting really well with people, and I've been singing a lot more. One thing about me is that I feel comfortable singing at drum circles and among people. And sometimes I'm a little off at first, but sometimes it's amazing. And that's not just me flattering myself. Sometimes it's like, holy moly, where'd that come from? But I've learned to follow my inner guidance, and sometimes I'll be just floating with the music, drumming or whatever, and I'll get this how do I say, like, inclination to sing now. And I used to hesitate and hem and haw and have some uncertainties, but now I've learned just to do it. Like, how can I say? I feel more and more that I have a willingness to be an instrument for the glory that is the foundation of all of our beings. We are a product of some spectacular evolution. And I don't mean just in terms of like Darwin's evolution. We're some sort of cosmic event, or cosmic experiment, or cosmic celebration, or cosmic farm. I mean, it's really not clear what we are here. But I think that there's some sort of spiritual orders, and I think that the universe loves us. What do we do with this life? What do we do with it? Just today, something dawned on me that was miraculous and profound, and yet elusive. It was that I am a super being on Earth. I mean, we live and we die, right? We have human lives. We all have human lives. But if you speculate, as I was earlier today, that this is just one little spark of our greater existence, both individual lineage, perhaps ancestral lineage, but our cosmic trajectory as individuals. This realm, this event, this life is only just a little spark. And thinking about what a friend said recently about pretending this is a role-playing game and I'm a character in this story. So I'm this silly wizard guy in Las Vegas, Nevada on planet Earth. That's funny. And thinking today as I was, it freed me up to think much more strategically and more boldly and more fantastically about what is possible with a human life. It really charged up my moment, and it really did just last a moment. It was almost as though, two passages crossed and I could feel deeply into outer space, like, oh gosh, this is a powerful opportunity. All I can say is I'm thankful to be around such good people, because I'm around some cosmically minded people. And it's really empowering to be able to count on certain individuals always referencing reality from the cosmic perspective. Like, some people will refer to each other as reflections. Like, we're one great cosmic super being, and each of these vehicles is a different reflection of that which is. The Hindus have one of their enlightenment sayings. It's, "Thou art that." Well, which that art thou? Which thou art thou? We are the that is the big the big the. Brahman. Us English speakers say Brahman, like God, Brahman, the Vedic God. But if you go over to India and say Brahman, they're going to think you're talking about the caste Brahmins. They say boom boom, boom boom, boom boom. They pronounce the H, BRH, bruh. They aspirate it. It's almost like getting hit in the gut. Like I was in Varanasi, and I was going to go to a temple. We would say Bhairava, Bhairava, but I was asking. They said Bhairov, Bhairov, Bhairo, Bhairov, the Bhairava temple, Bhairov, Bhairov, Bhairava, Bhairo, Bhairo, Bhairav, Bhairava. Bhairava is that wicked aspect of God that, well, it's like the male counterpart of Kali. Here, let me show you. This here is a Tibetan version. This is that bullheaded version of God that is so fierce. But let's face it, if you have God on your side, if you have fierce God in your corner, how could you ever fear? What is there to fear? There is nothing to fear. That's the great revelation, is that there's nothing to fear. Like Ramakrishna, the great super saint, was once asked, why is there evil? He said, to thicken the plot. Right? If there was no war, there would be no peace. If there was no sickness, there'd be no medicine and caring nurses. It sort of gives the story some sort of depth of realness, some adversary. I don't know, because I'm operating from a human mind, just like all of us. But as above, so below. They shipped a container full of fish over from Asia. It was a big old a container full of live fish in water. And they arrived dead. So they tried again and again, and they kept testing different things. Is it the food? Is it the acidity? Is it the light? Is it this? Is it that? The other thing. They kept coming over dead. And someone got the bright idea to throw a little shark in with them. Well, what happens? They come over alive. The shark ate a couple of them, but having that adversary, they had something to live against. Just that apathy and nothingness was too much. They died. But if they had some counterpart, some enemy, as it were, then they flourished, or at least survived the trip. Now, of course, if I could subscribe to knowledge and just understand what's really going on here, I'd hit that button. But I'm guessing if I hit that button and knew truth, the fullness of truth, I would be silent about it to other people. Because what's going on here, it's almost as though it has its own process, its own mind. And little fractions of this bigger thinking happens in all of our minds. And yet, any one individual doesn't have the whole picture. I mean, in general, I think there's super saints who have super knowledge. I do. There's a big, one of the big koans in Japanese Buddhism is, why did Buddha come back to teach? Actually, the koans drive me batty, and I'm really not a fan of a koan, although I invented one recently. But the thing is that Buddha, upon becoming enlightened, came back to teach humans. Was this out of compassion? I mean, compassion is certainly the theme of the Buddha. But according to the Heart Sutra, this whole form is not separate from emptiness. And emptiness is not separate from this very form. Paradoxes of paradoxes. What does this mean? It means we may as well just pretend that we are super beings, pretending to be humans. Why? Because it frames us much more skillful. It engenders our mind with a much more powerful perspective. Like if you imagine you're weak and insignificant, well, then you're more likely to be lacking power and lacking relevance. If you imagine that you're a super being in disguise as a human, then you're much more likely to notice certain nuanced moments and have unaccountable faith in certain circumstances, which seems like a good idea to me. So, henceforth, I am a super being, but I won't go on about it because I'm a secret agent. I invite you to realize your own secret agentness as well.